guess I'm just not interesting. I have no personality. I met a guy with cancer, and he felt sorry for me. I've never been a social guy. I'm always making children cry. I guess that's just the way it's meant to be. Help me make it out of bed, 'cause I am scared and sad. Help me make it through the day, 'cause there's nothing out there for me anymore. 'Cause I'm always coming in last place and getting dirt kicked in my face, and everyone pushes ahead of me and no one stops to care. And I curse the gods each day in vain for giving me this life of pain, when all I really need's a little hug. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I am tired and alone. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I don't like myself. It's nobody's birthday. Don't light a candle on the cake. It's nobody's birthday. It was just a big mistake. It's nobody's birthday. No need to uncork the wine, 'cause it's nobody's birthday but mine. It's nobody's birthday. No tail on the donkey today. No need to celebrate being alive when your dreams get stolen away. It's nobody's birthday, so leave the party hats behind, 'cause it's nobody's birthday but mine. There'll be no balloon animals, no Chuck E. Cheese, no animatronic singing dogs. There'll be none of this for me. And don't give me any fucking birthday cards. I don't need your sympathy. The Hallmark stores are all closed and shit. There'll be none of this for me. It's nobody's birthday. There'll be no big surprise. The candle's flames were doused away by the teardrops from my eyes. Here we go. It's nobody's birthday. No need for presents at this time, 'cause it's nobody's birthday but mine. No, it's nobody's birthday.
Hello? Computer, volume 10. Checking the mic 1, 2. Check. Computer, how much microphone? Apple cooking board?
The top result is Mini Mic Pro latest model wireless mini microphone for iPhone, 2-pack. It's $24.99.
No, thank you. You can do this, man. You've got this. You've done it hundreds of times before, literally hundreds, maybe 400 times. Oh, God. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Henry's Kitchen, where today we're going to be teaching you how to make charcuterie boards. It was sort of a last-minute decision. This is a makeup stream. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to stream last Sunday because of actually shooting a little something that was pretty interesting. And also taxes got in the way. Just a lot of shit. Paperwork and just generally overwhelmed with a lot of stuff, and unfortunately streaming was not possible on that Sunday. But as part of my commitment to continue to deliver quality cooking explanations throughout my life, I decided to do a makeup stream. What the fuck? The Toily! Hey, our buddy the Toily just raided us. If you don't know the Toily, you have to check out the Toily, all one word. And thanks for the raid. Thanks for sharing your audience with us today, the Toily. And Ladies Led says, can you please say hi to my daughter, Dina? She's 17, please. We love you. Wow. Thank you, Ladies Lead. And hello to your daughter, Dina. Hello, Dina. Did you just turn 17, or is it a birthday, or just generally speaking? What a wonderful age 17 is. I remember being 17. As a matter of fact, Frank Sinatra has a song about when he was 17. He was riding in limos with high-class call girls, or whatever that song's about. And then there's another song called 17 by Janice Ian, which was, she had a very different 17th year from Frank Sinatra. Hers was a little bit more like mine. I remember when I was 17, I was in high school. I was, wait, does that make sense? Yeah, I guess I would have been in my senior year of high school. And I wore a Union Jack Def Leppard jersey that had the sleeves cut off. And it was one of those things that I thought looked cool when I left my house. But when I got there, a lot of the kids started saying, hey, nice jersey. And I could tell there was sarcasm there. And I felt uncomfortable for about 8 hours and just wanted to change my shirt, or at least just take it off. But there was really no way out. And I know a lot of you can probably relate to that. Parasitosis says, need to do a stream where you drive and get a spicy chicken sandwich from Wendy's. Oh man, does that sound good. It's the sandwich that I grew up with, and everybody laughs at me when I say this, but it was the original chicken sandwich from Burger King. That was at the risk of sounding cliche, it was a game changer. It was so fucking delicious. It was like 700 calories, and you can still get them, but they're not the same. And there's better sandwiches, probably like the one at Wendy's. But boy, that was good, and I have a lot of fond memories of eating that sandwich. Royal Flush 9 says, Henry, at least the school didn't go into lockdown because you brought the gun show. True. true. I guess if I had to choose between the two things, I would say I'd rather be stuck with a sleeveless Union Jack shirt. Maybe. Art is Jock says, what recipe are you going to butcher today? Well, I don't know that we're going to butcher it. We're going to really try. Sometimes we don't do as well as we'd like it, but I certainly don't want to intend to butcher it. But we're going to be making this cute thing that I found online here. Hold on. There it is. It's called the Charcuterie or Charcuterie in French. And there's a couple of things here. This comes to us from a website called thehappyneighborswife.com. And it's got all kinds of assortments of meat and cheese. We're going to do the best that we can. We don't have that cute pig thing that they've got, but I don't know that you want that. Or is that a pig? No, that's a cow. We don't have that. But that's kind of disturbing anyway, so... All Day Yucker says, I made one of those with Lunchables. Yeah. Lunchables are pretty good. Nothing to sneeze at, except apparently they contain nitrates. Computer, what's the worst thing that can happen if you eat nitrates?
From healthline.com. Nitrates can form N-nitroso compounds, such as nitrosamine, which are capable of causing cancer.
Okay, so not really as bad as we thought when I was growing up. Jack Dostal says charcuterie is just adult Lunchables. Okay. Oh, Parasitosa says nitrates or nitrites. Oh, maybe it's nitrites. Computer, what's the worst thing that can happen if you have nitrites?
From manuals.com. Nitrites can also cause methemoglobinemia, which is a blood disorder that interferes with the ability of the blood to carry oxygen.
Okay, so whether they contain nitrites or nitrates, neither one sounds like anything bad, especially if you're a 56-year-old man. Jack Dostal says, but nitrites are also good blood flow. Okay. Duza says nitrots. I get those sometimes. Oh, that's when you get up in the middle of the night and start trotting. Trotting to the bathroom, probably. All Day Yuckers, nitric oxide is in beets. Okay, everybody, we're getting off a little bit. Stacy LMAO Real says, you hurt my heart more than you ever could understand. But you're talking, this is a response to Computer Fart for Me, who says,
that was a muffled one. Try asking me for an angry fart. Or say random.
No, it was the name of one of the users on here. That's the only reason that I said that. Okay, Friendly Friend says... Okay.
That was a long and squeaky one.
Friendly Friend says,
for a spicy fart.
Computer, stop farting, please. Friendly Friend says, nitrites doesn't sound as bad as night frights. Yeah, that's true. Dark Ages says, but I wanted to hear a spicy one. No, I think we're done. Okay. Hey, this is a cool picture. It comes to us from 4%. A user named 4%, presumably part of the financial 4%. That you always hear about. Pancake King says, angry fart is just some asshole taking shit behind your back. Okay, yeah, I don't disagree with that. I just don't know that it's appropriate stuff to talk about while we're trying to make some food here. Okay, so Evalduzia says, man, Teslas look terrible. Well, in addition to that, yeah, it looks like that's one of those... what do they call that? A Cybertruck. But in addition to that, there's also another interesting thing happening in the picture, which is some kind of an explosion. Okay, this is an amazing picture. Thank you very much, 4%. I also want to check in with our alerts. Kalamazoo Dog, whom I've hung out with in Park City, Utah, after a show, says, Henry, I'm loving that it's Friday and you're live I feel like anything in life and the world is possible again. Wow, that really makes me feel good about the fact that I showed up here to do this stream today. It's unusual. Usually it's Wednesdays and Sundays, but this makes me feel great. That Kalamazoo Dog says that it's making him feel like anything in life and in the world is possible again. Hey, thank you, Kalamazoo Dog. And John of the Shred, my buddy that I've done voiceover work for and also makes awesome games, and I hung out with in Fairfield, Connecticut just a little more than a year ago. That was a great time. Good to see you, John of the Shred. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for subscribing for 9 months. And thanks again to my friend, the Toily, Thetoiley, also good friend of Bill Larkin Music. And check out the Toily Show. And thanks for the raid. And Shadow Storm 159 cheered a bit and says W Kitchen. Yeah, thanks, Shadow Storm. And Fitchin Hat, also known as Phaedrus or Ticknot, has subscribed. Happy Friday, Henry and the users. Happy Friday right back to you. John of the Shred says, nah, JK, I got a new phone and started getting Twitch notifications again. Been busy working on stuff. And guys, turn off your phones. This is serious business. We don't want to get interrupted. I'm so tired of people leaving their phones on while we're trying to do serious work. WTF says, you ever had those ones where it sounds like a question? Like the pitch goes up as it goes out. You know, one, if you heard it, yeah. It sounds like it's saying, Bob? Royal Flush 9 says, I put mine on airplane mode. Yeah, you can. But I would prefer you just turn off the phone and stow it. Stacy LMAO Real says, love you so much. Hey, thank you very much, Stacy. That's very nice of you. And Capacious T's here. Hey, right back to you, Capacious T. John of the Shred says, one of the projects you did voices for me from in 2023 is almost finished. We'll send you a preview on Discord. Please do. You do great work. Is this the... Oh, that's the first one. And then the Christmas one maybe will be... That was a really fun one too. So keep me posted on all of it and post it in the Discord. John of the Shred makes a lot of great stuff. Bert Bufftug says, I knew that the phone thing was going to be an issue, which is why I stopped paying my bill so they'd cut my service off. Yeah, that's one way to silence your phone, is just stop paying them. I had an incident where I went to the T-Mobile and talked to one of the young salesmen there. And it was the same one that I had seen like 2 years prior. And I said, I want to see about maybe getting a better deal here. And he said, well, what's your name? And I said, Henry Phillips. And he punched it in. And he goes, Henry, wow, this looks like you're paying way too much money. You came to the right place. Let's help you out here. Let's get you a better deal. And I said, you're the one who made this deal where I'm paying too much money. So you can't say it's a shitty deal when you're the one who did it. I don't know if that's a sales tactic or what, but anyway, he gave me a deal which was basically the same deal we already had. Stupid. Anytime you hear somebody say they're good at making deals, watch out. They are full of shit. Parasitosis says, I blame Steve Jobs for this whole bullshit of having phones. The BlackBerry movie was neat. The BlackBerry movie was fantastic. If you guys haven't... Thanks, Parasitosis, for reminding me. If you haven't seen the BlackBerry movie, it's great filmmaking. It's got so many great cameos, and it's just really engaging cinema verite style. And it really takes you back to the 90s. It's wonderful. John Ladders cheered 193. Thank you, John Ladders. And says, Obama nah. Okay. I'm sure I could look that up and it would mean something. Kalamazoo Dog says, Glenn Howerton's best work. Oh, yeah, that guy's great. Is he the one who is not bald, but they gave him a bald wig, and he did a really good job with it. Guitar Joe, I still use a BlackBerry retrofitted with a modern Android motherboard. Oh, nice. And the guy who plays the engineer, I think, who was in Mad Men, is fantastic as well. Okay, everybody. We've got some more work to do. We've got songs. We're going to do some music here in a second. Let's first take a look. Cher, not the singer, which I always read to look like Chernot the singer. Like there's a singer named Chernot. But it's actually Cher, not the singer. Sends us this beautiful picture of a couple of very bright flowers blooming in an otherwise sort of a bleak and bland background. That's very cool. It's a little bit of a metaphor, I guess. The Balderdash Lad, beautiful color. Yeah, it contrasts very nicely. Beanie Bobini, our intern, says, hey, those bloom first in Minnesota. Oh, cool. It doesn't surprise me. Minnesota is the land of 10,000 lakes. I think we determined that it was down to like 9,998, but they just rounded up, I guess. And some of those lakes include like outdoor above ground swimming pools, which is a little bit cheating in my opinion. But it doesn't surprise me that they would also bloom beautiful flowers there. Dark Ages says, calm, quiet, Chernot croon, Eastern European ballad for you now. Yeah, Chernot the singer. And Sergeant Whitepepper says, Henry, long time no see. How's the wife? Hey, not bad, Sergeant Whitepepper. Is that a reference to the Ween song? Or the Ween album, Whitepepper, which is an amazing album. But thanks for joining us, and thanks for the 15-month subscription. And John Ladders, thanks again for your bits, for sharing your bits with us. Royal Flush 9 says, I am beautiful flower that's about to bloom. That's wonderful. That's a wonderful thing for us to say to ourselves as sort of an affirmation. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and change it up here, and we're going to find a background for our song. How about this? Gradus NL. Gradus-NL gives us this picture. There might have been a caption, but I'm not sure what this is. But I'm going to go ahead and do a song to it. Lady Dina says, just downloaded Twitch. Thanks for the shout out. Yeah, Lady Dina 17. Thanks for joining us. Did you just turn 17 or have you been 17 for a while? Because we can do a birthday song for you if it's your birthday. Or we can save it for whenever your 18th birthday is. Artist Jock says, can you ask computer, is Henry Phillips...
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Computer, is Henry Phillips for real?
From thesaurus.net. Henry Phillips was an American businessman and engineer who developed the Phillips head screw and the corresponding screwdriver in the 1930s.
Computer, is that the only Henry Phillips?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Computer, never mind. Computer, you just live in my house. That's okay.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Computer, how many of your bills get paid by Henry Phillips, the screwdriver guy?
From usefacts.org. They paid an effective rate, that is, after credits and deductions, of 5% in 2022 and 7% in 2017, a difference of 2 percentage points.
Okay, well, I apologize for my tone then. I didn't realize that. Okay. Let's go ahead and get let's get our guitar. Okay, Ladies Lead says Dina turns 18 August 5th. Please sing to her then. Okay, we will do that. I've been having tuning issues, but you know, there's a part of me that just doesn't care anymore. Okay, let's go ahead and do... Checking the mic, test, 1, 2, help! Kalamazoo Dog says, I've been getting really into Les Claypool recently. Oh, cool. I want to do a little piece that I don't do very often, and it's only because I'm trying to pitch to Jose Suicidio that I might want to include at least a segment of it on the upcoming album by Jose Suicidio, which is called There's Something Wrong With Me. And as the producer, I like to try to insert my own material where possible. This is a song that I wrote that's a combination of all these little things that I do when I'm warming up on the guitar. And it's just instrumental, but it's called Green Room Musings. I haven't worked it all out yet. Green Room Musings. I don't have quite the dexterity in my fingers that I had 10 years ago, and that's sad. But hopefully with AI we can get it a little cleaner. All right. Dark Aegis says, wait, Henry is dead? Is this an old stream? What is that? What? Hopeful Equinox says, my soul is healed. Thank you, Henry Phillips. Thank you, Hopeful Equinox. All right. Hey, we have a gift here. It looks like Guitar Joe, our friend Guitar Joe, has gifted a Tier 1 sub to Lady Dina, the 17-year-old. Thank you very much, Guitar Joe, for gifting that sub. And don't forget, Lady Dina has an 18th birthday on August the 5th. Okay. Royal Flush 9. Henry, hold up 3 fingers to your face to prove you're not AI. To my face? Yeah. But I don't know if that proves I'm not AI. I think AI would be smart enough to figure out how to do that. But you're right. The fingers is what the AI always gets wrong. But I think they're fixing that. Stacy LMAO Real says, what's your favorite sandwich? Probably a meatball sub. Slash Knox says, Henry, what's the best answer at a job interview when they ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, it depends. If you want the job, then I would say I see myself working still at the lowest part of this company, but working harder than anybody else for the least amount of money. Then they're going to be all excited. But they might think you're full of shit. I Slap Catbutt says, hold up 11 fingers to prove that you are AI. That would be awesome if I just did that right now. And this whole thing, this whole time was just AI. Okay, everybody. It's time for us to do a song, a request. We have a request for a song by Nella, our very own Nella, who wanted to hear a song by Steely Dan. If you haven't seen the Yacht Rock documentary, it's really, really good. It's so good. Just check it out. It's a lot of fun. I thought it was going to be one of these things where they're sort of tongue-in-cheek and making fun of yacht rock, but it's actually an homage. And they talk for about a half hour about the album Aja or whatever by Steely Dan and just the incredible musicianship. I'm going to use, Maui Girl is having a situation. Maui Girl apparently woke up to find that she has no toilet where the toilet is supposed to be. And then there's another follow-up picture here, and that's this one here. So I guess somebody took the toilet and put it outside. I know she's having problems with the toilet and the landlord. Okay, but let's go ahead and switch it up. Milky Cold says, sure, but can an aging guitarist still cook? You bet your ass I can. I assume you're talking about me. I don't know. Technically, we're all aging, every single one of us. There's no such thing as a person that when you're looking at them, they're not aging right in front of you as you speak. Here, I'm going to use this picture from our intern, Beanie Bobini. It's a very cool picture. Unfortunately, I have to cover up the subject of it. Hammy X Hams, thank you so much for your 5-month subscription. And let's go ahead and do this song requested by Nella. And how do I find it here? By Steely Dan. It's a weird song, but it's a cool song. It's kind of a narrative. It kind of reminds me of like a movie like One Battle After Another or something. You got to get into smooth rock sound. Luckless pedestrians, I went way low with this. I know you're out there with rage in your eyes and your megaphones, saying all is forgiven. Mad dog surrender. How can I answer? A man of my mind can do anything. I'm a bookkeeper's son, and I don't want to shoot no one. Well, I crossed my old man back in Oregon. Don't take me alive. Got a case of dynamite, and I could hold out here all night. Well, I crossed my old man back in Oregon. Don't take me alive. Caitlin's Kitchen says it's the 3rd day of tornadoes this week. We are sick of it in Wisconsin. Wow. Yeah, I'd be sick of tornadoes too. You're out there trying to water your lawn. It's like, fucking tornado. All right, let's go ahead and do this next song here. Or this next verse. I want to change the key. I'm going to change the key. How do I do that? Can you hear the evil crowd? Lies and the laughter. I hear my insides, the mechanized hum of another world, where no sun is shining. No, wait, I'm sorry everybody, I don't know where the fuck I am. Can you hear the evil crowd? The lies and the laughter. I'm glad this is live. I hear my insides, the mechanized hum of another world, where no sun is shining, no red light flashing. I'm sorry, Nella, I'm fucking this up. I know what I've done, and I know once who I am. What the I'm gonna blame the chords on this thing. I'm a bookkeeper's son, and I don't want to shoot no one. Well, I crossed my old man back in Oregon. Don't take me alive. Got a case of dynamite, and I could hold out here all night. Well, I crossed my old man back in Oregon. Don't take me alive. Wow, that was an accidental chord, but it was actually kind of cool. Let's try that again. Well, I crossed my old man back in Oregon. Don't take me alive. All right, I butchered it, but it's a great song. Listen to the original. Cooking, after all, is what I do best, so it sort of stands to reason that was going to be kind of a train wreck. Never try in one key that's too low and then change it to another key, because you'll just get all confused. Thanks, everybody. It's very nice. Pancake King, you're right. Steely Dan is great. A lot of people don't like him, but I freaking love him. Caitlin's Kitchen says, Tornado Alley surely has expanded. Well, hopefully it doesn't expand too much. I do remember driving through Kansas one time, and at one point I was so bored halfway through the drive that I just literally wanted a tornado to pop up so I would have something to look at, and I was willing to deal with whatever consequences there might be. Okay, we got a couple more alerts here. John Ladders gifted a tier 1 sub to Crypto Bro with a heart of gold. Thank you very much, John Ladders, for your generosity there, and welcome Crypto Bro with a heart of gold to the stream and to the community here. Stacy LMAO Real says, what are your opinions on electronic music? I think if it's too electronic, if it's a little bit like, to me, I used to go to the Hare Krishnas, and I'm going somewhere with this, many years ago, and they would serve food that was vegetarian, but they wouldn't really brand it as vegetarian food. It just happened to be that they weren't into meat, and it was the most delicious food I ever had. And I was thinking about it, I was like, oh yeah, potatoes are very filling, and curry is very flavorful. There was rice. And I feel like when they try to do a vegetarian or a vegan burger or something, I know you can, or vegan bacon or whatever, I know you can pass that off, but I don't find it as good as something that's just being what it's supposed to be. And I feel like that with electronic music. Electronic music can be great if it's meant to be electronic and it uses like sequencers and cool electronic sort of sounds, but I don't like it when the electronic drums, for example, sound electronic and they're kind of tinny and they don't really have the heart of a real drummer. I don't know if that makes sense, but a lot of times I'm just sort of talking out of my ass. Nancy Meow Meow says, Jose Suicidio's song, It's All About Me, is kind of electronic, right? Well, it's got synthesizers on it. And I guess that but then by that logic, then you could say that any, electric guitars are electronic. But, yeah, but you're right. It's definitely got that 80s new wave kind of sound. I was trying to go for the keyboard. Jose was trying to go for the keyboard sound that they had in this song, Obsession, by the band. What was that band called that did Obsession? Was it Human League? No, it was something else. Computer, what's the band that did Obsession?
Tony Reyes sang in Obsession by Animotion.
Animotion. It was a play on the word animation. John of the Shred says, what synths did Jose use? I believe Jose used the analog pad patch that comes with Logic software, music software on Apple. Okay, hey, I Slap Cat Butt says time for work. Bye, users. Bye, Henry. Hope a tornado destroys my building instead of Caitlin's kitchen. Wow, that's very noble of you. And I don't know what your work is. Maybe if you say that you slap cat butts, maybe you're referring to your work. Maybe you're a veterinarian. But hopefully you're slapping them either for medical purposes to make sure that they have all the right reflexes, or maybe you're just giving them little tiny pats on the butt because they like that. Okay, Caitlin's Kitchen says, thank you for taking one for the team, my friend. Parasitosis says, I wonder what a tornado tastes like. That's interesting. I've never thought about it. I Slap Cat Butt says, no, that's a hobby. Okay. Well, I wish I could remember your cat's names. They were awesome. Thanks for sending the pic. Dark Ages says, I trust I Slap Cat Butts as slapping cat ass for good and not evil. Yeah, I suppose. Okay, let's go ahead and do another song. Thanks our intern Beanie Bobini for giving us this cool background pic. And let's see what else we got here. Dooza says that they went to see Whose Live Is It Anyway, which is a take on Whose Line Is It Anyway. Who's in that picture? Is Ryan Stiles in that one? I used to know him a little bit. And I can't really see who's in the picture, but that's a great, funny bunch of people right there. He's on the left. Okay, yeah. I should have known. He's the tall guy. Awesome. Well, thanks, Dooza, for sharing that fun night out. That looks like it was a good time. I'm going to find another background picture for our situation. Parasitosis sends us this one. Is this another picture from Japan? Or maybe not, but it's very nice, and I'm going to use this for our background. Yep, Japan. So the users went on a Henry's Kitchen expedition to Japan recently, and apparently came back with all kinds of wonderful coffees and items and beautiful pictures of what they discovered. And to be fair, I think Japan had already been discovered before the users went there, but it was still quite an amazing expedition. At one point, I think their boat got trapped in the ice, and they had to eat their sled dogs. Pancake King says, oh yeah, I would totally fish there. Yeah, that looks really cool. What city is this in? Oh, on the way to Osaka. I got to get my ass down there sometime. I would really like to do that. Pancake King says, and never catch a thing. It doesn't matter. Fishing is all about trying to get something. Matt Glad says, hey Henry, I hope your taxes went well. Yeah, it was super fun. It was a really good time. No, it's really difficult for me because I have all of these different activities that I do. YouTube, Twitch, all the different platforms. But there's also all the illegal activity that I do that makes it hard because you want to claim it so that it sort of looks like it's on the up and up. But, and then at the same time, you don't want to be announcing broadly to the whole world that you're doing illegal stuff with your taxes. Caitlin's Kitchen says, men and fish alike fear me. Wow, okay. Parasitosis says, this one was taken near Okutama. Computer, where is Okutama?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Wow, we even stumped a computer that's supposedly connected to all of human knowledge via the internet. I do want to change this picture because I decided I want to do one that's an arena looking picture for this one because it's an arena rock song. So we're going to just slightly detour here. Oh yeah, Pork Chop was one of I Slap Cat Butt's cats, and I don't remember the other one. Okay. Let's find a good arena rock picture. I think It's Kate gave us one not too long ago. That was really cool. If I don't find it soon, this is dead air here, so I'm going to make sure that I land on something soon. Okay. Here we go. It's Kate sent this one. This is looks like a band warming up. So we're going to use this. Hopeful Equinox says, tell computer about its uselessness. Computer, you're useless to me.
I'm happy to hear how I can improve. You can always say, I have feedback.
Computer, I have feedback.
Sure, tell me what's on your mind.
That's feedback, get it? Okay, all right. Parasitosis says, improve D's nuts. Yeah, computer, improve D's nuts.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Terrible joke taker. Okay, let's go ahead and do this song. It's called Seven Nation Army, and it was requested to us by our very own Pug Lady. Wanted to hear this arena rock anthem by the great Jack White and the White Stripes. Bart Verstappen 8814 says, hi Henry, hope you're having a good day. In 2013, I sent a woman a picture of my penis, and now it's spread all over the internet. Anyways, hope is all as well. Okay. Oh, I think I know you. Okay. Where does it say here? Ajax has just subscribed for 4 months and says, oops, haven't used this in a while. Love the show, Henry. Thanks for making me laugh while I'm at work. Hey, thanks, Ajax. Thanks for joining us. We're just shooting the proverbial shit here. Ruthier Rainbow says, White Stripes. Yeah, it's going to be good. Franz Schubert says, I've seen it too. Okay, let's go ahead and change the subject. We kind of got off talking about Bart Verstappen 8814's penis. Okay, Ashk Thanks says, oh my God, I've been watching this whole time not logged in, and I was wondering why I was now getting ads. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the paid world, and I'm glad you're not getting the ads now. Okay, let's go ahead and do this song. I don't know what there is to say about this song, so it's just the same riff over and over again, which I like because it's easier to do. And it does that kind of Nirvana thing where it gets quiet and then really loud in the chorus. So it's a musical language I understand. Parasitosis says, Bart vs. Penis is right up there with Goatsy. Jack Dostal says, the pen is mightier. I'm not really very familiar with this song, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to fight them off. A 7-nation army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off, taking time right behind my back. And I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. Back and forth going through my head behind a cigarette. And a message coming from my eyes, leave it alone. Don't wanna hear about it. Every single one's got a story to tell. Everyone knows about it. From the Queen of England to the hounds of hell. And if I catch it coming back my way, I'm gonna serve it to you. Oh, that's the part that had the melody. And that ain't what I want you to hear, but that's what I'll do. What's he talking about? And a feeling coming from my bones says it's find me a home. All right, we're gonna do one more verse here. This feels weird. Okay. I think I'm doing it wrong. I'm going to Wichita, maybe to see a tornado. Far from this opera forevermore. I'm going to work the straw. Wow, he works the straw. What does that mean? Made the sweat drip out of every pore. And I'm bleeding and I'm bleeding and I'm bleeding right before the Lord. All the words are gonna bleed from me and I will sing no more. And the stains coming from my blood tell me to go back home. WTF says gotta go to Wichita. It's a great city. I love Wichita. Okay. It's much better when the White Stripes do it. But I did the best I could. I try when possible to do song requests. I know I miss a lot of song requests, but that's because it's very difficult for me to learn new songs now that I'm older. It's Kate X says, Jack White from the White Stripes' recent album called No Name is a great listen. Oh, I'm going to have to check it out. It's Kate X has great taste in music, has requested some great songs on here. So I'm going to check that out for sure. No Name. Jack Dostal says, ditto on Wichita. Have you met the Hat Man there? Great shop. No, I haven't. I went to a little downtown area where they had vinyl record stores and coffee houses and stuff. And I also hung out near the club, which was the Looney Bin, but it's not there anymore. But anything in walking distance there was really great. I had a breakfast at a diner around the corner that I think is probably illegal in a lot of states. Okay, Parasitosa says, hey chat, got a room temp can of soda you want tomorrow morning and it's 11 p.m.? Put that fucker in the freezer. You'll have a nice cold soda in the a.m. Nice little tip. So if you have a room temperature can of soda that you want tomorrow morning and it's 11 p.m., put it in the freezer and you'll have a nice cold soda in the a.m. And I don't know if that's from personal experience or if that's just a theory. Pizza Man 939 has just subscribed. Thanks, Pizza Man. And let's take a look here and see, make sure that we've gone through all the pictures. Melly's Yours Bird says, no pee-pee, no popo. And it's got a picture of a dog. Is this in French? Caitlin's Kitchen says, I prefer my soda hot. Okay. All right, let's see what else we've got here. I think we've gone through all the pictures and it's time for us now to do what we do best. And I don't remember quite what that is, but, oh, I guess cooking. So we're not really cooking today. We're going to be doing something called a charcuterie, which is well, let's find out what it is. Computer, what is a charcuterie?
According to Wikipedia, charcuterie is a branch of French cuisine devoted to prepared meat products, such as bacon, ham, sausage, terrines, galantines, ballotines, pâtés, and confit, primarily from pork.
Okay, apparently there is a little bit of bacon in there. I thought we weren't cooking today, but it says we're baking ham. Pancake King says, so you're not putting on makeup? No, I won't be. All right, let's go ahead and get into the kitchen here. Parasitosis says, so in other words, just the whole grocery store. Yeah, exactly. Here we are. Welcome to the kitchen. Welcome to my nightmare. Today we're going to be working from a couple of websites. There's one here. This is thehappyneighborswife.com, and it gives us a sort of a blog-based charcuterie situation. It says, charcuterie boards are actually a perfect way to entertain because they are so very social by nature. Yeah, I think I know what she means by social. Everyone will want to gather and linger around. Plus, most boards require absolutely no cooking. The only skill required is to buy some good ingredients or raid your fridge and pantries. A successful board has a nice range of cured and fresh flavors as well as pickled, savory, and sweet. Okay, well this sounds exciting. We're getting a couple of comments here. Check. Oh, I'm sorry. I left the reverb on. I'm going to go ahead and change that. Matt Glad says, is there themes for pictures or do people just submit random pictures? People just literally submit random pictures, Matt Glad. I'm glad you asked that. You go to the Discord and it's under green screen suggestions. It started out as backgrounds, but now it's pretty much just anybody sending anything. And I don't mind it. I hope you guys don't mind it. It's fun to interact that way. People have a lot of interesting things that they experience. Sometimes they'll send one that's not even interesting at all. It's just like a wall with nothing on it. Okay. You want to start with a good board. Let's talk about the board here for a second. So the size of your board is really going to determine how much you can fit on there, to be simplistic about it. A large party calls for a large board. A small party would probably call for a smaller board. Medium party, probably go with a medium board for that one. European style breadboards, often available at flea markets and antique shops, are very, very generous in size. They really give of their size. Large pieces of slate or marble, though certainly heavier, they will work well as long as they're not something that you have to carry for long distances. But I would think, yeah, Caitlin's Kitchen says size matters. I think the general rule of thumb is, whoa, the News Junkie just rated us with 24 viewers. Thank you so much, the News Junkie. Good to see you on this Friday afternoon, or almost noon here. And thanks again, the Toily and the News Junkie, for sharing your audience with us. We definitely appreciate the little boost here. If anybody wonders what we're doing here, we are making, not that, oh God. This is, I hate when this happens. There's Bill Larkin. What were we gonna do? Oh yeah, we're making a charcuterie. This is it, yeah. This is the picture of the charcuterie. And Bootsy Moonshine says, keep trying. Yeah, eventually we get there. Guitar Joe says, Charcuterie board. Sorry, I'll see myself out. No, see yourself in. We appreciate the levity that you're providing us here today. So appreciated is levity in an otherwise weary and dark and futile existence. Murphy's Razor says, Charcuterie boards are delicious. See? Murphy's Razor isn't going to see themselves out after making some word fun. And there's no reason anybody should ever have to. Parasitosis says, I want yakitori now. I don't know what yakitori is. I'm assuming it's a Japanese delicatessen. Ruthier Rainbow says, my first time predicting a prediction with more than 2 options. Yeah. This coffee's cold. It's delicious, but I had set up some more here. And we're going to make it. This coffee comes to us from JSBX fan, who gifted us some bourbon brown sugar. Delicious, delicious coffee. Thanks so much to JSBX fan for gifting me that when I was in Chicago about a month ago. Sociopathogen says, Henry, my Trader Joe's pepper grinder I've been using for 4 years finally broke. Is it okay to grind them with a hammer now? Yeah, you can grind with anything. You can use what is that called? A mortar and pestle. Armor Ant says, is there a pirate board? I'd like a charcuterie. Okay. All right, we're getting off a little bit with the levity. We do want to have a serious environment here so that people learn how to cook, so that they know how to eat and don't die from starvation or something. Ruthier Rainbow says, I'd give anything to try some. Yikes, Waffles92 says. Chuck Logan, you can find a new one on Grindr website. What's that? Computer, what is Grindr website?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
I guess it must be like maybe a place where you can get ground beef. Sounds pretty cool. Okay. Armorant says, stop lying, computer. All Day Yuckers says, yeah, you can get meat there. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Royal Flush 9, Grinder, Judas Priest. Great song. Wow.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Okay. Let's get to work. I'm sorry. I have that thing called ADHD or whatever it is, where you just kind of, any stimulus makes me start paying attention to that instead of focusing on the job at hand. Okay, Parasitosis says meth does that to me. Yeah, see, like there's a lot of stimulus here and it's hard to focus. Back on the horse. You're right, Neat. Okay, here we go. Coffee brewing. We are going. Here we go. I'm going to dump out the lukewarm coffee that's here and get ready for the hot coffee. It's going to be a lot of work. But let's talk a little bit about the anchors. Meat and cheese. So, I like to have 2 to 3 blocks of cheese that offer a range of flavor and texture. Oh, Ladies Lead just subscribed. Thank you so much, Ladies Lead, for subscribing. That's very nice of you. And thanks again to the News Junkie and the Toilie for rating us. We're doing great. We got 230 viewers. It's kind of putting the pressure on me here. I got to focus. All right, so we're talking about the anchors for your charcuterie. We want 2 to 3 blocks of cheese. I'll tell you what I have today, and this is just what I had in my kitchen. I had this. It's gonna have to do. It's not a lot of cheese. It's not really a block. It's more of a slice, but it's a sharp cheddar, and it'd be nice to also include something like maybe a zippy dill Havarti or a fucking Roquefort or Gouda or one of those, but we don't have that. We have a slice of cheddar from the Whole Foods Market brand. So hopefully that'll be all right. And we also have, here's our meat. We've got turkey. Some people ask, can you do a vegetarian charcuterie? unfortunately not, because meat and cheese are going to be your anchors. Well, you could do cheese, which would still be vegetarian, but it wouldn't be vegan. Okay. You want some kind of creamy cheese, like a brie or a taleggio, juxtaposed with a harder, crumblier cheese, like a sheep's milk, like maybe a manchego, and perhaps a tangy blue or goat's milk cheese. I place these on the board first, since they take up a fair amount of real estate. I follow up with laying out the cured meats in and around the cheeses, which creates a different shape and spaces on the board that will be filled by other ingredients. So once again, this comes to us from the happy neighbor's wife, who is looking for new ways to have her spaces filled. Okay, I'm going to go... So this is what I'm going to be using as my board, and I'll tell you why. It spins around. So even though I'm just by myself, I can still move this if I wanted to serve something to a guest. You can't tell because it's all solid in color, but I'm going to lay down some tin foil because there's some glue. I don't know why they do this, but when you buy something at the Goodwill, they put a price tag right here where you're going to be eating, and you peel it off, and there's permanent glue. I tried so hard to wash it off, but I don't want glue on my food. So I'm going to lay down just a little bit of aluminum foil. The kids always give me a hard time when I say tin foil because that's an old and dated term. It's not the language that we use anymore, and I want to apologize if it's offensive to anybody. This is called aluminum foil or aluminum foil. We don't say tin foil anymore. Okay, so let's now... It says here we want to... I place... Okay. What is going on here? I place these on the board first. This is the cheeses. Okay, and again, we only have one cheese. But you know what? Even with just one cheese, I'm going to go ahead and be creative and fold it up into multiples. Like so. And it says here, I place these on the board first since they take up a fair amount of real estate. So they want you to take up as much real estate as possible with this. And if you're looking for what we're going to be ending up with here, we're going to make something that looks a little like that. Now, we don't have the same equipment, but here we go. All right, and then we're going to follow up with laying out the cured meats in and around the cheeses, which creates sort of a different shape and holes on the board that will be filled. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab, this is the last of our turkey here. So we're just filling up the holes now. I don't think there's any real right or wrong way to do this. I don't even really know if there's any way to do this. Parasitosis says, I love filling holes. Yeah, I mean, it can be creative work. Goat Sheed says, cured of what? I don't know what they mean by that. Computer, what does it mean when they say cured of something?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I didn't think you would be, because you're not quite sure how to help me with just about anything. Okay, so we're getting a nice little idea of what this is going to look like. Money Curse says cured of dryness. Oh, okay. Okay, so you could also use a prosciutto or a genoa salami or a sopressata or a pepperoni. But, you know, it says here you can go to Applebee's and get meats and cheeses and elevate your spread further. I like to elevate my spread at Applebee's. Bobbins says, "Hi, Henry. When are we bringing out the makeup?" No, we are not doing that. We're not doing makeup. This is a makeup stream, meaning I'm making it up from Sunday. I missed Sunday, so I'm doing a makeup stream is all that's happening. Okay. Donnie Wahlberg says, just a charcuterie board today. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it. P7 says, this is all made up. No, I'm getting all this from a website called yourhappyneighborswife.com. Okay, so let's start getting into the next order of business here. We want small bowls to the rescue. Place a few small boards on the board, or bowls on the board, and fill them with anything juicy that needs to be contained, like olives. I don't have olives. Sun-dried tomatoes. Okay, well, we are in luck. I have... Some of you may have seen my latest Patreon video where I taught people how to take the last bit of condiments and not waste it by pouring coffee into it. Speaking of which, I've got some fresh coffee here that we're going to enjoy. But I have condiments in bowls. So this is small bowls to the rescue. These bowls might be a little large. This is mayo. This is a little bit of mustard. And then we've got a little bit of, I'm not sure what this is, but it's what it is. So now, do you see what's happening here? We actually need to create more space for these bowls. We kind of underestimated how much the bowls would take. But so that's basically that. Now, a dip can be a nice addition. Think ready-made hummus or bean dip, doctored up with a good olive oil and showering of fresh herbs. Maybe a jar of good pate. What we've got here is mustard as well as some mayonnaise and whatever that is. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look at the video to see what it was. Okay, don't forget about bread. Well, we are in luck. Because, I dropped the fucking plastic thing in the mustard. Okay, so this is going to be a similar process that we did with the cheese. This is called crisp bread. And this is going to be, you can take one of these and dip it and then put your meat and cheese on there. But I'm going to just sort of lightly scatter. What was that now? What in the hell was that? Did you guys hear that? It sounded like a phone vibrating, but that's not what it was. I'm wondering if it was an alarm for my apartment or something. Okay, well, this is starting to look interesting now. Okay, Parasitosis says, who in the chat has their phone on? Yeah, guys, turn off these phones, please. We are trying to do some work here. Okay, and just to tell you a little bit about what the horny neighbor's wife says here, tuck in slices of baguette and a couple of crackers or types of flatbread. It's always good to offer at least one gluten-free option. And there are so many good ones available now, from rice crackers. I think these are gluten-free now. Norwegian crisp bread. Yeah, gluten-free. You can also add nuts such as pistachios, toasted cashews, raw almonds, etc. All this other stuff. Now, I think I know where they're going. Colorful fruits and veggies. You might be looking at our charcuterie board and going, well, this just looks like bland, uncolorful garbage. Well, not for long, mon frere, because we will now be adding some apple that's going to give us a little color. Dark Ages says, do users watching on their phone also need to turn them off? I'd have to think about that. Bruh, that Susan is so lazy, says Roach Swallower. Yeah, and I think that's the namesake. This apple is ancient, but we're going to go ahead and cut it just like any other apple. Let me get something to cut it with. Everyone Type Forsen is here. I haven't seen Everyone Type Forsen in a while. And it says here, there's a message. Hello, Henry. Long time no speak. I watch the DVDs nowadays, but I'd like to quickly say some words. Twitch is full of copy-pasted messages that people don't read. I don't like that. I like to write what I deeply wish and what comes from my heart. That being said, I would like to thank all of you. You all are the best football team I've ever played with. Well, this is Henry's Kitchen, though. There's nothing to do with football, but unless you're using football in the sort of broad sense. Ruth Year's Rainbow says, oh, great, now I'm suffering from rice cracker cravings. Yeah, this is going to be good stuff, you guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and just use this amount. And don't forget that presentation is not nearly as important when you're just watching it by yourself on a Friday night while watching, or when you're eating it by yourself while you're watching Hallmark Channel or whatever. Okay, now I'm going to start creatively sort of dispersing this apple around our situation like so. And I would say we don't even have room really for this, and I don't want to cover it up. Maybe we could put that there and this, something like that. Okay. Well, I'd say we have our charcuterie board. It's got color now. It is a lazy Susan situation, and our aluminum foil is protecting us from the glue on the plate, which is nice. And we've got some various sauces that we're going to dip in. And why don't we just take a look at what the example pick looks like. Now, we didn't have a fancy cow tray or whatever the hell that is, but that's kind of cheesy. I think ours, and I don't mean that as a pun, I think ours is a little bit more classy. This is more of a classic charcuterie. I want to say thank you to, we had some alerts come down the pike here. 4%agon Jr. has subscribed. Thank you very much, 4%agon Jr. And Ladies Laid, thank you so much for your subscription. And thanks again to the News Junkie and the Toily for sharing your audience with us today. We don't really usually do streams on Fridays, but we're doing it as a makeup. Parasitosis says, remember chat, the apples are for decoration. Do not eat them. They are tasteless and possibly poisonous. I actually didn't know that. Okay. This coffee came out strong for some reason. I might have doubled up on it, but it's still good. It's delicious. Royal Flush 9 says, computer, what happens if you eat too many apples? Computer, what happens if you eat too many apples?
The serving size of apple is 1 apple. Eating too much of anything is not recommended. It can cause your digestive system to work in overdrive. It can leave you feeling lethargic and uncomfortably full. Overeating too frequently can cause weight gain and sometimes lead to other health problems.
Snitsku says, I always carry cigarettes in case I get apple skin poisoning. Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Nervous Femur says, hi, Henry. I'm making nachos, but don't have any shredded cheese. Can I replace it with mayonnaise? Yeah, I would think you probably could. Cheese and mayonnaise are both part of the dairy family. I think mayonnaise is basically a type of cheese. Computer, what type of cheese is mayonnaise?
From askandifference.com. Mayonnaise is an emulsion of oil, egg yolk, vinegar or lemon juice, while cheese is a dairy product made from milk proteins and fat.
Yeah, so they're both dairy products, so I think you'd be fine. Okay, let's do what we do best here, and that is, I'm not sure, but we're going to grab a little bit of cracker here, and ooh, I wonder what sauce I'm going to use. I guess I'll use some mustard and maybe add a little bit of our turkey. See if I can find a cheese here somewhere. There we go. And maybe I'll top it with a little bit of apple. Let's see what we've got here. Not bad. It's a little like a Money Curse says nachos de mayonnaise. Chop Saw Charlie says, what dumpster did you find that in? Okay, so a range of opinions here. It's not great. It's not delicious. I'd say it's fine. The crisp bread is weird with the mustard. You're right, Money Curse. It's not bad, but not good. I'm going to call this mediocre. Hey, Maui Girl 45 just subscribed for 7 months. Thank you, Maui Girl, and says, wow, Henry. Something in there is not agreeing with me. I don't know what it is. Quantum 370 says, hello, Henry and chat. How goes Friday? It goes okay. It's not awesome or amazing, but it's okay. Well, somebody wanted me to try it with the mystery sauce. We have 3 sauces that we used here for our charcuterie. Mustard, mayonnaise, and this one, which was in a bowl, and I forgot what it is, so we're going to find out. I'm going to take another piece of cracker here. We're going to dip it in that stuff. And let's now put some shiz as well as some turkey. Computer, how do you say turkey in French?
Turkey in French is dub.
Dub. Okay. Aia says, Henry, do you recommend this dish for a first date? Absolutely. Anybody can go out to eat, impress your date with a fancy $200 dinner, $201 if you're including the tip. But to make food for somebody while you're at home, it just shows it's a much more, it just shows that you've got, it just, I don't know. All right. We're going to try this other sauce. Oh my God. I know what it is. And it's a lot. Fuck. It's horseradish. Very, very hot horseradish. I can feel it going through my nasal passages there. But, you know, kind of a nice little rush there. Was not expecting it. I kind of enjoyed that. It's really kind of weird to just get sandbagged with horseradish when you're not expecting it. Computer, what does sandbagged mean? I might have used that incorrectly.
As a noun, sandbag is usually defined as a bag filled with sand, used in fortification, as ballast, etc. As a verb, sandbag is usually defined as to furnish with sandbags. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for sandbag.
That's not the word. Yeah, Maui girl, you're right. Teabagged. That's the word I was looking for. It's weird to get teabagged with horseradish all of a sudden in the middle of the day when you weren't expecting it. Okay. All right. That's enough of that for a second. I want to play a little bit of a game. We've played this game on here before. We've got our nice little charcuterie that we can eat from while we're gaming. I know a lot of you are gamers, and you'll probably want to have something that you can snack on while you're gaming. Maybe you're gaming with a friend and you want them to try the horseradish, then you just turn this around and then they can have that, and then you can even mess with them and go, here, do you want some horseradish? Just kidding. Or something like that, you know. But now what we're going to do is we're going to play a little game called Ms. Pac-Man. I need to set it up. Let's see. I'm going to put it on that. And this. And then I'm going to go to how do I do this again? Whoa. Okay. You should be able to see me. This is a game that came out, I think, in 1981, maybe 82. I was in Alhambra, California at the time, hanging out with some friends that were really good at it. I always kind of sucked at it. But we're going to try to relive my childhood here a little bit. And let's see how well I can do with this. We have a alert that just came down the pike, however, and that's Danny Wonders. Danny Wonders just subscribed for 19 months on Prime. Thank you so much, Danny Wonders. All right, let's do this. John of the Shred says, Ms. Pac-Man is a much fun, darker sequel than Pac-Man contextually. Yeah, I agree. Official Shitter wants to know if Nancy was there. Oh yeah, Nancy was always hanging out. All right, here we go. How do I do this? Guys, turn off your phones, please. The red one is the fastest. Oh my goodness. I gotta get that cherry. I missed the cherry, damn it. But I'm doing pretty well with getting the ghosts. Oh no. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Let's get this thing at least. Shit. Always better to play it a little bit safe. Finally got it, but at what cost? Oh, that was a weird way to end. Sorry, everybody. Okay. All I want to do is get to one of the more advanced screens so that we can... kind of back myself into a corner here. Okay, there we go. Stuart 2199 says ghost riding the whip at the end there. Yeah, that's right. I haven't heard that term in a long time. It's a good way to get carpal tunnel syndrome. This is getting crazy, guys. Alright, I got the free Pac-Man. But this is getting pretty risky here. This is getting insane. Hold on. I don't remember it being this hard this early. I'm just going to go safe. I know I could have gotten that strawberry, but I just kind of wussed out. All right, Guitar Joe says, I didn't know Henry did classic games. Might have to make a suggestion. Yeah. This won't last long, guys. This is not a great one to be able to enjoy your charcuterie with. I think that later they kind of change these games. This is bullshit. They don't stay ghosts for long enough. Oh no. I think as you go through the game later, oh my goodness. I'm getting carpal tunnel. This is not a good idea. See if I can lure them on this side. Apparently, because of AI, the ghosts are getting smarter. Alright, I'm going to switch hands. I know you guys have questions. I'll get to them. Alright, well that's that. I don't know, guys. Why don't we just sort of end this by saying that we know that I'm probably pretty good at it. And that way I don't have to keep playing. Hammy X Hams, the ghost on the right doesn't seem like such a bad guy. Which one's on the right? It's harder with my left hand now. Oh, that's it, guys. That was fun while it lasted. I appreciate that you allowed me to indulge myself in that situation. It's gaming is something we do while we're waiting to die, really, and while we're waiting for our food to cook. But in this case, we didn't have any cooking to do. But I'm going to have one more bite of this, and then we're going to go ahead and do our closing song. Let's get a little more of that horseradish. I like this kind of zippy pow, the effect that's got. I know you guys have questions. Ladies Led says, play a trivia game or something with us. Well, Yeah, we do have trivia games. We usually have to sort of organize it. That would be fun, though. May the 3rd, we're going to be doing a huge anniversary stream here. And there will be trivia. There'll be all kinds of fun stuff. The Golden Henry Awards. So there's actually a link in the chat that you can check out. Other announcements. Finishing touches on the artwork for the Jose Suicidio album are currently happening now. And I've told Jose we're putting this thing out April 30th. It's got to come out by April 30th. Otherwise, what are we doing? We're a couple of losers. So that's the goal, maybe even sooner. Let's go ahead and close out with a song that I like to do that thanks all of you, the users of Henry's Kitchen, the folks that run the Discord, the diligent moderators, the other streamers like the Toily and the News Junkie who've come here and rated and shared their audience with us, and also to the Tier 3 subscribers, the technical advisors, so many people. It's Kate X says, will we be able to purchase a digital copy on something like Bandcamp? Not totally sure yet how that's going to work, but I think first it's going to be released as vinyl, on vinyl, and then there's going to be, yeah, probably a digital copy on Bandcamp, and then ultimately streaming. I'm still trying to figure all that out. That's the administrative part of doing an album, which is not the fun part. I'm sure you've seen documentaries about the Beatles, you know, and their rise to fame and how exciting it is with all those screaming fans and everything. Very rarely do they spend time talking about all the paperwork that was involved in that whole process. And that's because the paperwork is not the fun part. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the reverb back on. And let's do a song here. This song, let's go ahead and use Jose Suicidio's Help Me as the melody to thank you. Falcon and Dingo Bob, Dom Beef, Hot Bear, 1110, do Dingle Dog Goggle. Dr. Flanges and Baku, Shane, yes, Beelzebub, Mochi's Nirvana, it's Kate Kairosa. Humble Vision and the LGX, Chef Reactions, Husky Boyle, Bill Blarkin Music, the Toily, the News Junkie, Radio, Nim Moon Moon, Emaru, Orca Mine, S-Fan, Bonnie, Dazzle Cap, Blurry Little Quest, Borson, Vanilla, Parasitosis, and don't forget Beanie Bobini and Quanto. Dazzle Cat, Zod Bane, and Toke My Nuts. Saguaro, Burrito, 55555, Dinosaur, I Slap Cat Butts. JV's Text, Sickly Boy, Beelzebub, Handlips, 1, Caitlin's Kitchen. Lacey T, Purple Donut, Filling His Fruit Tankard, and Borson, Vin Zodiac, Tone Gary Busey, ASMR. Lurk Bullshit is Nova Galarian, Mr. Gooseberry BT, D's Nuts Game Master, Flash Mimsy Coon, the Cat Food Taste Tester, the Cheernex, Mochi's Nirvana, Red Hot Hibachi, Ransom GRS, Tis, Michelle Heffy, Embry 225, Yarchasm, Nico Tazo, Michael Bublé 4422, Potato Cat Breeder, Passion Error, Minho Shin 64, Midnight Faded, GSPX Fanacity, Tis Pool Boy 789, and don't forget Quanto. Thank you all so much for joining me on this makeup stream. I think we did all right. We made a beautiful, beautiful thing, a charcuterie from the happyneighborswife.com. And the Balderdash lad says, thank you, Henry, and the users for the stream. Parasitosis says, don't forget to do your taxes. Yeah, I think at this point you may have already forgotten, or you got an extension. But we had fun, and we did okay. And I think at the risk of sounding like I'm taking things too seriously here, I want to part with you by giving you a little bit of optimism. We will survive. We're going to do okay. And by we, I mean living creatures, meaning life. I don't mean the human race, but cockroaches will survive whatever kind of awful things await us. Dark Ages says, thank you, Henry, much needed these days. Yeah, we're going to be okay. And again, by we, I don't mean us, I mean all of life in general, or at least life on other planets. Dark Ages says, well, I'm happy the cockroaches will survive too. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us, and I'll be here at the regular time, noon Pacific, on Sunday. And I hope you're going to join, and we're going to do more fun stuff. Thanks, it's Kate. Thanks, everybody. And don't forget the May 3rd awesome extravaganza anniversary. Put it in your calendar because it's going to be a lot of fun. Official Shitter says, I saw a mouse with babies yesterday, so everything is going to be okay. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again, the Toilie, for the raid, and the News Junkie. All right.